Is your business resilient enough to take a hit this year? That is the most critical question in cybersecurity for the year 2026. And I'll be honest with you, if you're planning cyber risk this year, the same way you've always planned 2 years ago or 2025, I can assure you, you are way behind. At esentry, we've spent the past year analyzing live incidents, threat intel insights, and recurring breach patterns across environments we protect. And in doing this, we see critical tipping points arriving simultaneously. Here are our top 3 predictions for 2026. Prediction 1. The ransomware model is breaking and has become way more dangerous. So as payments decline and negotiations fail more often, attackers are moving away from traditional encryption-driven campaigns towards operations designed for speed, disruption, and leverage. So in 2026, most ransomware incidents will begin with valid credentials rather than the malware that we're used to, with access purchased from brokers and victims selected leveraging artificial intelligence based on operational vulnerabilities and a likelihood of response. The objective would increasingly be immediate, visible disruption rather than quiet recovery. This would leave the organizations with little time to assess or contain the impact. And for our second prediction, identity will become a primary point of failure for most environments. Modern organizations now depend on complex identity ecosystems spanning cloud platforms, service accounts, APIs, and third-party integrations, many of which outnumber the human users by a significant margin. In this context, compromise increasingly looks like legitimate activity, with the attackers using valid access obtained through phishing, social engineering, or legacy breaches. In 2026, the majority of significant breaches will start this way, exposing the limit of security models that treat authentication like a one-time decision instead of a continuous evaluated risk. And for our final prediction, supply chain compromise will overtake direct attacks as preferred entry points. And this makes a lot of sense because rather than targeting very resilient organizations directly, attackers will focus on the third parties, increasingly compromising software vendors, managed service providers, and the widely used platforms most organizations would leverage for their business. And this would allow them to scale impact while reducing their detection risk. And as a result, the organizations will inherit breaches from third parties, their partners, their vendors that they trust but cannot fully control. And often discovering that the compromise only after damage has been done and propagated through their environments and their systems. Now, these are not abstract theories. These are a result of research and analysis done in our threat and research labs. And we've accepted these realities and we've refined our strategies to enforce resilience for our customers. And so what does this mean in real practice? It means we've built our platform to detect the earliest indicators of identity misuse, and not just malware. It means we design for failure and recovery, assuming that the attacker is already in your system. We also believe that Defender's advantage is no longer perfect prevention, it is unmatched speed in recovery. So the real question now is, what is your organization doing to ensure its survival in 2026?